So I would say I'm an entrepreneur. Um, I think of an entrepreneur as somebody who has a vision and works toward that vision through, a product or service, and not uses, employs other people to help bring that vision to fruition. So an entrepreneur isn't somebody who just does, everything alone. It's somebody who has a team or other people surrounding their vision to help make it a reality.
Hi, everybody. I'm Isaac Bradford, and we're once here again to take it from a friend. And today, my friend that's willing to come here for this is Zack Brannen. He's got a great business that I'm sure he'll talk about. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Hey, I'm Zackry Brannen. I am a student at Iowa State University. I am currently in my junior year, so third year, double majoring in finance and marketing. I'm also going for a sales certificate. Um, I'm on here, I'm assuming, because of my business, which I started about 3.5 years ago when I was 17 and in high school. So that's kind of my gig.
Wow, impressive, impressive. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, you kind of talked about a little bit of it already, but kind of the goal of this podcast show, video, whatever you want to talk about it. The goal of it's to kind of bring different career paths and career options and experiences to people out there because they might not know about it. They don't might not know that they're interested in it. I remember hearing a lot of people in high school saying, "Well, I don't know what I want to do with my life. How am I supposed to know? I don't know anybody that does this." So bringing people that might do an alternative type of, whether it's entrepreneurship or it's a career in engineering, just a bunch of different things. And so, with that being said, what would you consider your current job title, right? Or however you want to think about what you do for career, and what is it you do? How did you get there with your education and your experience?
So I would say I'm an entrepreneur. Um, I think of an entrepreneur as somebody who has a vision and works toward that vision through, a product or service, and not uses, employs other people to help bring that vision to fruition. So an entrepreneur isn't somebody who just does, everything alone. It's somebody who has a team or other people surrounding their vision to help make it a reality. So that's why I ascribe the label entrepreneur to myself. Um, I honestly became an entrepreneur from this one job I had in high school.
Okay.
They were making custom handcrafted signs while I was in their daycare.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it started in like elementary ish, I think. Um, fifth grade, sixth grade, what something. So really young. So I was helping them make these frames and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And then even after daycare, I'd go back and like make the frames and all this other stuff. So I watched them build it from just selling on Etsy to doing about $250,000 a year. And I was like, holy cow, this is
Wow.
really cool. Helped them move into their first like industrial space. It was super awesome.
Wow.
So I got the hands-on experience of how to develop a product, how to market a product, and how to scale it. And I think that just inspired me to be like looking at things differently as an opportunity. So in the case of my business, I had plants and those plants had bugs and I couldn't get rid of the bugs. So I was like, maybe I can get rid of the bugs with something I make. And that's what this is. And this is what I've been selling. I sold 15,000 of these in the last 6 months.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been incredible.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice.
So I wouldn't say necessarily high school taught me that, but I think exploring different career paths, like the job I
Hmm.
was in, helped me realize I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Nice. Nice. That's a pretty cool story. I don't think I've actually heard the whole story all the way through, even though I've known you for I think like 2 years now or something. I
Yeah.
usually hear like the very curated business spiel about. So yeah, that's really nice to hear the beginning of it. Yeah, cool. Do you still know like do you still hang out with those people or know those people or keep in touch?
They are an hour away from me, but I do stay in touch.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
hang out with them maybe once every year or two,
Okay,
just to like catch up.
that's cool. That's cool. Keeping those connections.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Um, and then since it's take it from a friend, the other thing that I have to ask or have you explain is how do you remember us meeting and why do we still have this connection that you're willing to come on some random show?
Oh gosh, I just remember hearing about you, like you were some mythical creature.
Okay, I haven't heard that one before.
Everybody's like, "Oh, Isaac." I'm like, who's Isaac? Who's this Isaac guy?
Uh
And then you come in and you're just like this bubbly dude.
huh.
You're just like laughing at everything. I'm like, that's Isaac? Dude, that's so sick. I mean, I just remember hearing stories about
Hmm.
your fish tank in the side starter's room, like,
Yeah.
water going down and all this
Oh
other.
goodness, that story.
I think
Yeah.
I didn't really know you until our trip to Tampa
Okay.
2 years ago. Like that's when I
Yeah.
like really understood who Isaac was.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Because that was, I think that you went to the, because you would have been a freshman, I think, the first one I went to. So you must have gone to the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I felt really old that last one. I was like, man, everybody I know is gone. It
yeah,
was just
dude.
like me and Caleb from, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was. I mean, it was cool to like because I think I remember meeting you from SciStars, which is like because I think you were the cohort after me, right? Because you were you
I
in
was in.
Cam's cohort or two after
Yeah,
me, one or
yeah, I
two,
was two after you, I
two
think.
after me. Oh man, yeah, I really am old. But yeah, so I remember like getting to go and see your guys' like SciStars pitch and seeing all that, and so I remember like meeting you. I think through that program and hearing about you outside of that, like through pitch competitions. But then, yeah, definitely going to Tampa was pretty cool. Obviously, your portfolio of what you've done with your business is pretty impressive. I mean, you just said it like 15,000 in 6 months is pretty incredible. So
Yeah, I'm excited about that traction, but more to come.
okay, yeah, yeah, keep aiming, keep aiming. Um, with that being said, more to come. Uh, so this is entrepreneurship isn't all part of your life. I mean, entrepreneurship does take up a big part of everybody who's an entrepreneur, but it serves a purpose for you as a person. So for you as a person, what do you see as your purpose in life? Whether that's through entrepreneurship or just in general.
I think in general, my purpose in life, the reason why I was put here is to just learn and grow. Become like the best version of myself I can be every single day. I mean, I know that's something people are always striving for, and it's really hard to do because change is difficult and uncomfortable. But I try to remember that, I can't necessarily take life for granted because, it's precious and I have the ability to just Google anything.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different times where like I get curious about something and then I Google it and I go down this rabbit hole and then poof, I've been enlightened with all of this information.
Right. Right.
And if I don't take action on that information, it's just useless. So
Hmm.
if I can learn and implement, then maybe I can grow. So I mean, I think that's the whole reason why I'm here. And my business, my entrepreneurship side doesn't grow or flourish unless I do that.
Gotcha.
So in order for everything around me to just come to fruition the way I want it to, I
Hmm.
have to continuously improve upon myself and build skills and all these other things. So I think it's my purpose to just learn and grow because if I can learn and grow, I can grow my business so that I can provide for my entire family. And so, like, I want to be a philanthropist in the future, like full
Right.
time. It could be so fun. Giving back is what fuels me. But I can't do that unless I have something to
Right.
give. So,
Right. Nice.
yeah.
Succinct and well said for sure. Nice. Yeah, I mean that's kind of pretty on brand for you know perfect plantista. So that's a nice matchup.
Grow, flourish. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
I'm
So
deep in it.
what?
I'm deep in it.
Yeah, plants everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you keep a lot of plants at home, right? Which is kind of where this came from, right?
I used to, yeah, but now I just moved everything to the business. I have
Okay.
like a quarter of a room just dedicated to plants. So,
Oh wow, nice.
yeah.
Product testing, you could say.
Yes, that is exactly what they're
Is that
for.
what it
They
is?
are tax
Okay.
write-offs for that purpose.
Ah, okay. Took your personal plants and turned them into business plants. Nice.
Well, I killed all my personal plants, but yeah,
Ah, but not because of the product.
not because of the product, because I left them outside and didn't take care of them.
Yeah, yeah, that happens. Yeah,
Yeah, oops.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you can never predict anything, from a long time ago. Looking forward, it's hard to know what people will do because I remember talking to a lot of people who at like internships, not necessarily at Iowa State, but just everywhere, and people were like, "Well, I didn't even realize I was going to do this.
Hmm.
My major is something different, or I took it a completely different path and I ended up in something that I love." So they all come from unexpected paths. How do you think you've ended up where you are now in terms of like experimentation, or um, did you always know you wanted to do something like this since you had your first entrepreneurship experience?
There was one point I wanted to be a DJ, and then there was one point where I wanted to just be a graphic designer, and then a photographer, and then just like all these other things that I wanted to be, and I tried. I just didn't fully dedicate myself to it.
Right.
But I think most of the learning came from my first job, the one, the signs and everything. It's just wow, like I have so much agency within that business even to just know all of this information and do it for them. I mean, I think I just got a great firsthand experience and took that knowledge to just develop my own thing. I mean, I've worked jobs since then,
Right.
but I've never been happy at those jobs. I've always just
Mm,
wanted to work on my business, and I'm
mm-hmm.
so grateful that I get to do that full time now. Not full time. I mean, I got school, but close to
Yeah.
full time as
Yeah.
possible. But I just, I don't think I could work for somebody else unless it's
Right.
a mission or a vision that I strongly believe in. And
Fair
that would
point.
be very hard to do when I'm already working on a mission that I strongly believe in. So
Right.
I don't foresee myself working for anybody in the future,
Okay.
except for myself. Um, but if all goes wrong, I'm keeping my options open, you know,
Yeah.
just in case. But
Yeah.
yeah,
There's always an opportunity for entrepreneurship for sure. Working within another business as co-founder or something. But I've
yeah,
yet to find the perfect match with that. So it's hard
yep,
to do. But
it
I've
is tough.
definitely, yeah, definitely had some people help me for sure that I really appreciate. Um, so I'm gonna kind of toss up the way I usually structure this because I think there's something that's a little more interesting for some people out there that I think you could talk to, that I've had experience with too. So maybe we can do a little back and forth. But so you talk about you're trying to do this full time, but you also have school. So how does that balance? How does that fit into like the whole web of entrepreneurship, purpose, and school? Like because you want to get the degree. Like we all like if we go to college, we want to get the degree, but sometimes it's a little difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I don't think I can say I balance it. Um, Last semester specifically, I holy cow! I mean, I just started selling the product like crazy, and of course, I have to turn my attention fully into the product in
Right.
order to maintain all that. I mean, I was skipping classes. I don't think I went to many of my classes at all
Mm,
last semester.
yeah.
And I focused on the business. Now this semester, now that I have hired a couple more people,
Hmm.
I am able to focus on school more. But until you're able to get to the point where you have enough demand to keep people hired,
Right.
it's so hard to
Yep.
just be able to focus on school and your business. So I think it's more of a trade-off. It's either really focus on school and get good grades, or really focus on your business and get put on an academic warning.
Yeah. There's um there's always that triangle that I've seen, right? Where it's one third, one third, one third. It's like, work, life or like sleep, right? So in some cases, it's a square for entrepreneurs. It's like work, life, sleep, and business, And so it or however you want to look at that, school somewhere in there, it's a complicated ratio, and I think a lot of times I think a lot of entrepreneurs take out sleep first, right? Um, but yeah, you talk about missing some classes. I remember I was a sophomore right after Sci Starters, and I took I skipped two classes. I mean, I think I remember like maybe emailing them or something afterwards, but I spent like 16 hours in 1 week or something like just on the business, like, and some of that was during school time, and I was like in because it was for a capstone, right? So we were working as a client for a capstone, and so I was like helping manage that, and we were like 6 or 8 weeks late starting, and they had like another 6 to 8 weeks left, and yeah, it's hard to balance, but yeah, I mean that kind of goes into the next question. How do you give advice to your younger self or someone in the same shoes to maybe ease the pain or ease the difficulty of what you've been doing or your career path that you've taken so far?
Everything happens for a reason, and it all works out. I had this giant scholarship um, coming into college that paid for everything,
Right.
and I had stock options and all these other things after I
Mm-hmm.
graduated from the scholarship. That's crazy. It's unheard of. Uh, but I I lost it, and I lost it because I was focusing on the business, and I didn't get good grades. Um, and then all of a sudden, I realized it was like a weight lifted off of my shoulder,
Mm.
right? Um, and because of that, I've been able to focus on the business more and not, worry about getting a crazy high GPA to maintain scholarship. And it's worked out in my favor. I mean, I don't think I would have been able to pursue the business on a scholarship like that
Mm-hmm.
because I need to have such good grades. I had to reformulate my product first 2 quarters of last year because it had an ingredient in it that needed to be registered with the EPA.
Oh, okay.
I got asked if I would change that if I would have just started over with this formula, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the answer is no, uh, because neem oil is what made this popular. It smelled good. Uh,
Right.
I think if you give yourself grace and try to understand like everything's gonna work out, as long as you're a good person, everything's gonna work out for you.
Right.
Just yeah, I mean, just go for it. Keep failing. Fail as fast as possible and fail as much as possible,
Yeah.
especially while you're able to. I mean,
Yeah.
once you grow up and have kids or a house or a mortgage
Mm-hmm.
or like all these other things, it's
Mm-hmm.
much scarier to fail, and that's something I've realized. Just talking to older people, um, is that I mean I'm in a great position. I can fail and land on
Right.
my feet and still have a great network of people to help support me. So
Right.
I think if I could just drill that into my head a little younger, I would have just taken as many risks as possible, tried everything,
Right.
because it all leads somewhere and it all works out.
Good advice. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think there's a. I mean, especially at Iowa State, right? Like, there's that. Especially once you get involved with the entrepreneurship community groups, there's a fairly nice soft cushion to land on if you have a problem or something goes wrong, because their whole goal is to support you, and so finding that group of people that can support you can be tough, if you don't find it easily. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Right now is like the best time to just go for it.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's kind of that thing of when you're young and nimble, do it when you can. But yeah, there's plenty of stories of people just doing some pretty crazy things throughout all the time. I remember part of the reason that I started the business was because uh, I should find his name. I should do a whole video about it. But I went to a call. I went on a call for something when I was a freshman. He was like, I started when I was 30 something, and I had 2 kids. I was in a job that I had already been at for X number of years. My wife was in a job, and I was like, we should just do this crazy idea that might just work. And so I think he said something like they were in the red for like 5 years or something, and he spent $25,000 of his own money. I don't know if it was every year or like in one big chunk of time, and it ended up working. And now he's the one of the co-founders or CEOs of like a Internet of Things company for agriculture, and it's a crazy story. And so I think they asked him the same question, what's advice that you give to somebody else? And he said, start it as early as possible. Don't wait till you've gotten all the expertise or everything nailed down. If you just start it now when you have the time to do it, that's the best time to do it, because the more time the better. So
It's
pretty
like
good.
compounding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Also,
yeah.
piece of advice:
Let's hear
save
it.
your money. Don't spend it once you make a ton of money. Holy cow, have I made that mistake? Save it, invest it, put it somewhere you can't reach it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
yeah,
we
that's
could we could do
another
a
thing.
whole side tangent on this, but you talking like Roth IRA, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lock it up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can, if you can afford to, right? Obviously.
Yeah, if
So,
you can afford to, but
right. Yeah, I mean, even $50 will go a long way
yeah,
20 years from now. It's just
yeah.
it's just crazy numbers.
Your money doubles every 7 years.
Yeah, Roth IRAs are pretty cool. I mean, then once you get educated, you get your stable job. If they have 401k, then you've got a whole nother option.
Yep.
So once you
Yeah.
become self, I guess to some degree self reliant on your own money, it's really cool. But I'm not quite
Yeah.
there yet. Stuck in grad school for now, but
Hey,
sometime. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Well, you've answered all these questions really fast, so I really only have one more left. But before that happens, I was going to ask: is there anything you want to plug? Any more advice you want to give? Anything you want to talk about before we get on to possibly the hardest question?
Okay. So I'm gonna plug my product. This is Perfect Plantista's houseplant pest spray. If you have houseplant pests, which if you have houseplants, you probably do, this is gonna be your best friend. Give me a second. I want to show you something really cool. I'm back.
He's back.
So, based on the feedback from this,
Mm-hmm.
people want a bigger size
Okay.
with an adjustable mister in a glass bottle for cheaper or less expensive.
Okay.
So what I've done is I took all that information, all that feedback, and developed it. So this is twice the size in a glass container with a beautiful label. Don't know if
Mm.
you can see that. Adjustable mister, super comfortable to use, and it's only $10 more than this. So I
Okay.
think you'd be silly not to get this
Right.
instead.
Is it like double the size, or what's the volume there?
Yeah, it's double the size for
Oh
only
wow.
$10
Okay.
more.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
in a glass bottle.
I guess the bottle that I have I got for free as a friend, but um, I think it was for free, or I paid
It
for it.
was. It
I don't
probably
remember.
was.
It was probably
I'm
for
gonna
free.
say you paid for it. Just
Okay,
probably for.
okay. If not, I think I may have bought a sticker or something. I don't remember. But the question for me is, why would your customers want a glass bottle? I'm curious, just because.
So my customers were, want a glass. They like sustainability.
Okay,
When you keep buying this,
mm-hmm.
you end up throwing away a lot of plastic bottles.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And you kind of notice that.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a concentrate that'll make 16 of these or 8 of these.
Okay.
And if you buy it to just, mix and make 16 of these, you're saving $220. So if
Wow.
you just buy this and then buy the concentrate, you're going to be able to just save a ton of plastic,
Right.
save a lot of, emissions.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
So that was kind of the whole idea.
I was just gonna ask, can they buy just refills for the regular glass bottle, kind of like so they don't have to buy the spray head? But that makes sense. Concentrate's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Pretty happy about that.
That's impressive. Yeah, I didn't know you had a new product out. That's pretty cool.
Yep. This
Yeah.
Saturday, 11 a.m.
This Saturday. Alrighty. Well, I guess I don't know if I'll have this out quite by then. So retroactively, it should be out by
Yes.
then.
Yes. February 15th is when it'll be launched.
Okay. Kind of like a Valentine's Day special, you can say. Maybe.
Kind of. Yeah. If
Depends
you
on
don't feel
how
loved
much you
enough,
love your
feel loved
plants.
by Perfect Plantista. Yeah. How much do you love your plant? I'm stealing that. I am using that.
Go
Thank you.
ahead.
I'm actually, hold on. I got to write this in my notes.
Cool. All right, last question. Think about it, before you answer. It might be complicated. What plant or animal, because we do fish on this channel, or fish, still an animal, do you think is cool, unique, your favorite, whatever you want to go with? You could say tasty, but that'd be a little off brand. But
I like yellowfin tuna. I mean, no, yellowtail. Yellowtail.
yellowtail. Okay.
Yellowtail. Not yellowfin tuna. Okay. So, favorite plant on brand. Monstera Thai Constellation. I'm going to say that
Okay.
because I've always wanted one. And then I bought one at Walmart when they were finally cheap because they were selling for like thousands of dollars. And then I put bugs on it and I showed TikTok. And then that's when the business started going crazy last year.
Wow.
But even before then, that was my favorite plant. I've always wanted one.
Nice.
So, Monstera Thai Constellation.
Cool. Good choice. Good
Yeah.
choice. Something that means something to you and your journey. So
Yeah.
nice pick. Cool. Well, this is your last chance, man. Thanks for coming on to the show. But if there's anything else you got to say to the audience, say it now.
Follow Isaac. He's a cool guy.
Well, thanks. You didn't have to use your time for that, but I appreciate that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Well, thank you for coming on and, showing everybody something that you've been doing in college and been able to make it successful. And it's impressive that you've been able to do that. So, I
Thank you.
appreciate you sharing your journey.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time, and hopefully you enjoy this. If you want to get in contact with Zach, I'll probably get his contact info, or you can leave a comment below. Thank you.